Did you know that there was a Winx Club theme park? Because I didn't. I was doom scrolling through TikTok about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and all of a sudden, in my face, there were life-size figures of the girls from the Winx Club, and I needed to know more. I went to the comments and I found out that this footage was taken at Rainbow Magicland. A brief summary for those who don't know, Winx Club was a TV show aimed at a young female audience, introduced in 2004 by the Italian TV studio Rainbow. In the 90s, Igneo Straffi realized that the cartoon world was devoid of female action heroes and wanted to change that. He came up with the idea for Winx, originally called Magic Bloom, and it was based on a sort of Cambridge-Oxford rivalry between a fairy and a witch school. He said that he based the artwork off of Japanese anime and manga, which you can pretty much tell by looking at it. The pilot took over a year to make, and unfortunately the audience was not impressed. They said that the show looked dated, so despite the money that they put into making the pilot, they ended up scrapping it and hiring an Italian fashion designer to redesign the characters. They also ended up renaming the show Winx to sound like the word wings in English, because again, this is an Italian TV show. The show was initially planned for 3 seasons, and to finish off with a movie at the end to tie everything together called Winx Club: The Secret of the Lost Kingdom. However, due to its overwhelming popularity, in 2008, the show got re-signed for a 4th season. With that 4th season came the theme park tie-in, which is why we're here today. Magicland, formerly known as Rainbow Magicland, is a theme park located in Pillarstone, Italy, and the home to the Winx Club theme park. Despite its name Rainbow Magicland, it was never owned or controlled by Rainbow's, like the TV studio. It was just named Rainbow Magicland, I guess out of coincidence, maybe not out of coincidence because the theme park opened with the rainbow tie-ins, but when they removed the rainbow tie-ins, they also removed rainbow from their name, which is why it's now known as just Magicland. I don't really know why they did that, because it wasn't run by Rainbow, but whatever, it's just Magicland now, formerly known as Rainbow Magicland when it had the Winx Club tie-ins. They took the tie-ins out as recently as 2019, which is when they removed the word Rainbow from their name, even though it was not integral to the tie-ins. Rainbow is an Italian TV studio founded by Igneo Straffi. From 2011 until 2013, it was co-owned by Paramount Global, which also owns Nickelodeon. Rainbow has collaborated with Nickelodeon on several shows and pilots, including Club 57, Maggie and Bianca, and of course, Winx Club. Before we get into things, I would just like to apologize up front. There are a lot of Italian words in this. I don't speak Italian. I don't know anything about Italian language, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering any of it. I did look up how to pronounce some of these things, but I'm also dyslexic and I'm reading off of a script, so if they're pronounced wrong, I'm just sorry in advance. At Rainbow Magicland, there were 3 main Winx Club themed attractions. There was Alfea Castle, this is where my Italian is coming into play, and I don't have any Italian. So, Pinetta Winx, which is their dark ride, which is what I'm going to refer to it as from here on out, and the Winx Theater. Also, I'd just like it to be known, before we even get into the attractions, this theme park has 0 online presence. There's like 8 TikToks made about it, of like just old footage. They're not even like talking about the theme park. There's no Wikipedia page. The Winx Wiki has 1 page on it, but it's like 3 paragraphs and say almost nothing, like about these attractions, about anything other than when it opened and when they took the tie-ins out. That's basically all that was on their wiki page. So this was very hard to find information on these like attractions. It was very difficult, so just want to get that out there. Let's start with Alfea Castle because it's just insane that this exists. I mean, the whole thing is just insane to me. I'm so happy it existed. But just like seeing pictures of Alfea Castle in real life is so crazy to me. It's a gorgeous life-size replica of the castle/school from the Winx Club. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's done a little weird. They do have that like sky blue painting on the back of it, so it's a little bit ugly, like, but from a distance, it serves its purpose. But it's so cool that it exists. Oh, I'm geeking out over it. It was designed and built exactly the same as it looks in the cartoon. The Winx girls, played by the staff, usually stood on top of the stairs in their Belvix outfits and sang Winx songs at specific periods in the day. Inside of Alfea Castle, there was a small Winx-themed gift shop Right next to the stairs were 2 statues of Stella and Flora in their Bellavix forms. Even the shop was decorated with these statues, and they are gorgeous. These statues are like why I wish I could go. They're so pretty. I love them so much. They make me feel so nostalgic. Like, honestly, all of these attractions are like a little underwhelming, but these statues alone, I just wish I could go touch them and take pictures with them. They're so pretty. So yeah, basically the castle's just a gift shop, and that kind of sucks because the castle in like Disney World is also a restaurant, which is cool. Like it serves a purpose, whereas this is just to sell you things. It's cool, it's just disappointing. Next up, we're gonna talk about the dark ride, which is kind of disappointing. I was really excited to hear that there was a Winx Club dark ride. Dark rides are my favorite kind of rides. I work at a dark ride at Disney World. I love them. I can't get enough of them. But this is just very lackluster, honestly. The point of the dark ride is to guide you through the world of Winx, and it does that. It just looks a little bit boring. The ride vehicle is the same kind of ride vehicle that they use on Peter Pan, where the track is above you and you're kind of gliding through the world of Winx. However, all of the girls are still just the same statues that you see outside of the ride, like the ones that I mentioned were in the gift shop, and they're also on the sign for this ride, which I didn't mention before, and the sign for this ride is gorgeous, which is why I was super excited for it. But it's just very underwhelming and lackluster. They don't need like fancy animatronics to make this work. The point of the ride is to show off the world of Winx, and they really just needed to decorate the rooms nicely, and it just doesn't even look like they did that. It looks almost like a low budget play set, like for a theater play, like, you know? It doesn't look great. The fact that these statues don't move is upsetting because this ride came out in 2011. Are you really telling me you couldn't like turn their heads at all, or like have them wave or do anything? I mean, that's just, that comes off more as lazy than anything. I guess it's just disappointing because the show is so beautifully animated. It just feels like they wasted their opportunity to make a really cool dark ride. The final attraction that they have that is solely Winx themed is the Winx Theater. This is the attraction that I found the least amount of information on. There's not even a paragraph on it on their official wiki page. It appears to be just the craziest thing on earth. It looks so low budget that I'm like, why did they even do it? I'm at a loss for words. I have a script and I actually just can't even read the script because I'm at such a loss, but it appears to be a 5-minute show where the girls come on stage, and mind you, the stage just appears to be some like party streamers behind them, and the spotlight will shine on one girl individually at a time while they do their part of the song, and the other girls appear to be standing in the darkness awkwardly behind them. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why put it in if it's gonna be that crappy? I just don't get it. I mean, even the shows at Disney that don't even have their own theater look better quality than this. And I don't mean to be comparing everything to Disney. I just work there, so it's like I see it every day. That's what I'm going to be basing a lot of my theme park experience off of. I know that there are lower budget theme parks, but I just feel like even those theme parks do a better job than this one is doing, or was doing, with this great IP that they had, and I feel like they could have done a lot more with it. I'd like to circle back for a moment and talk about Alfea Castle again. As I mentioned, it is just a gift shop. I did manage to find a channel called Winx Club All. They are obviously a big fan of Winx Club, and they visited the park in 2013 and then again in 2017, and they released a video in 2017 comparing the changes, I use loosely, made to the gift shop between 2013 and 2017. Between that time, they said that the merchandise that they did sell was not updated at all, and they even offered less merchandise. An entire wall of merch was taken down and replaced with a pick and mix wall. Also, the girls were throughout the gift shop. There were statues of them, and Flora was missing her hand in it. Like, it just seemed very, very run down. They had no merchandise for the current season, which in 2017 would have been season 7. They had no dolls, no nothing, not even a shirt that said like Rainbow Magicland with the girls on it. It was just like the same stuff with the same promotional images from the show plastered onto them. So as I mentioned before, there was not a lot of information on this park. I did somewhat manage to find some older maps, but I don't speak Italian. These are really bad scans. They're really pixelated and hard to read, but it does look like there is also a lack of food opportunities or themed food opportunities within the Winx Club area of the theme park. So I'm used to there being themed restaurants within different lands of theme parks. Like Disney has Restaurantosaurus in Dinoland USA. We have the 3 broomsticks and the leaky cauldron in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. There's just like always food opportunities in these theme park lands. It just doesn't seem like they added any cool themed food either. So on top of having like no merchandise, there's like no themed food and lackluster rides. I'm just so disappointed in what this theme park ended up actually being, because from the first video that I saw, it looked so magical and so amazing, but there just seems to be nothing offered here, which I guess is why they got rid of it, maybe, because it is already torn down. They are replacing Alfea Castle with a planetarium as we speak, and the dark ride is most certainly torn down. I'm not even sure what the theater was in. I don't think it was within the castle. I think it had its own theater, but I'm not sure if they started tearing that down yet. I've only seen pictures of the castle being torn down and of the dark ride being torn down. One other thing that I thought of that they could have added to this, which I think would have like made them so much money, is like a Bippity Boppity Boutique-esque experience. I couldn't think of the word. Like an experience where like little kids could like pick what fairy or witch they wanted to be and dress up like them, and they could have sold costumes and done the girls' hair and makeup. Like, you know, they didn't even sell dolls. Like, did they want money or did they not want money? Because I think they didn't want money. On top of all of these like missed opportunities that I've been mentioning, they also had a tie-in for Pop Pixie. Pop Pixie is an Italian animated television miniseries created by Ingo Straffi. Its only season aired on Ray 2 for just over 2 months, from the 10th of January to the 22nd of March in 2011. The show featured a cast of pixies who were first introduced as secondary characters in the second season of Winx Club. This shortly lived series somehow managed to get 3 theme park tie-ins as well, them being Flying Car Machine Volante, fasten your seatbelts because the Pop Pixies are ready to let you into their cars, the Magic Wheel La Rota Magica, the fairies of the forest Pop Pixies invite you to climb their magical spheres, and Pop Paula, an exhilarating trip in a hot air balloon in the company of Pop Pixies. It is absolutely crazy to me that Pop Pixies got the same treatment, if not better, than the Winx Club did. Because the Winx Club only got a crappy dark ride and a laughably terrible live show. So at the end of the day, I do think that this was just a cash grab tie-in done poorly, because I can already think of different things that they could have added to make more money, such as, you know, actual merchandise and food opportunities, but they didn't do any of that. And I don't know, I'm just disappointed. I'm excited that it existed, but I'm disappointed in what it ended up being. So that is the story of Rainbow Magicland, which is now just Magicland. I'm disappointed that I never got to see it, even though it ended up being very underwhelming. Winx Club was really special to me growing up, and it was very special to a lot of people, So I do think that it's really cool when obscure media gets representation, especially in a theme park. I mean, that is just crazy that that even existed. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed learning about this as much as I did. I wish it was cooler than it was, but I thought it was still something cool enough to talk about. So, thank you.